All right, if you live in a residential community, you already know that managing the finances can be a massive job. But just balancing the books, that's really only half the story. What if you could build a truly sustainable financial future for your whole community? One that actually protects your most valuable asset for decades to come. Well, today we're going to break down a model that's designed to do exactly that.
Okay, so let's dive right in. The thing is, so many communities get stuck in what you could call a financial trap. They're just constantly putting out fires. You know the drill. A surprise repair pops up, a sudden budget shortfall, an unexpected system failure. It's just super stressful, it's not efficient, and honestly, in the long run, it's incredibly costly.
I mean, let's talk about the dreaded special levy. Has this ever happened to you? It's that emergency bill that lands on every homeowner's doorstep when some major, unbudgeted expense comes out of nowhere. It's pretty much the ultimate sign that a community is stuck in that reactive mode instead of being proactive. And it is a huge, huge source of anxiety for residents. So, what are the big warning signs that a community's in financial trouble? Well, this slide nails it. That special levy we just talked about, that's just one symptom. You start to see the physical decay, the peeling paint, the crumbling roads. The management team is always in crisis mode. The reserves are way too low. And the worst part, everybody's property values start to take a hit. It's a classic downward spiral. But here's the good news. It really doesn't have to be this way. This is not some foregone conclusion. There is a proven, structured method to break out of this reactive trap for good and build real, long-term financial health for your community. And that solution we're digging into today is the 5-pillar financial model from SmartReserves. The best way to think about it is like a complete blueprint, a guide for financial stability, for protecting your assets in the long term, and for genuine sustainability. And here it is. Take a look. You can see the 4 distinct financial pillars holding everything up. And they are all built on this solid foundation of governance. It's a really powerful visual because it shows how everything has to connect to create a community that's well-managed, well-maintained, and truly ready for whatever the future throws at it. So let's break this down, pillar by pillar. So let's kick things off with those 4 core financial pillars. The real beauty of this model is that each and every pillar has a very specific job, its own dedicated source of funding, and a unique risk that it's designed to manage. Pillar 1 is all about the day-to-day operations. This is the money for things like security, cleaning, utilities, all the essential stuff that basically keeps the lights on. It's funded, of course, by your monthly levies. But what's really key here is the risk, cash flow instability. And that is exactly why the best practice is to always have a 3 to 6 month cash flow buffer, just to keep things running smoothly, no matter what. Okay, let's move on to pillar 2. Now, this is arguably the most important one for protecting your community's long-term value. This is all about preserving your physical assets. We're talking roads, roofs, security systems, over their entire life cycle. It's the difference between planning for a full repaint in 10 years versus getting slammed with a massive bill when the paint starts peeling everywhere at once. And that's why it needs its own dedicated reserve levy based on a super detailed long-term plan. This is how you proactively protect your property value. And this right here is exactly why Pillar 2 is so critical. The source material is crystal clear on this. Underfunding long-term maintenance is the single biggest reason communities get into deep financial trouble. It leads directly to that physical decay we talked about, and you guessed it, those surprise special levies that nobody wants to see. Pillar 3 handles a completely different kind of risk. This is about protecting against the totally unpredictable. This is your insurance for those catastrophic events like a major fire or severe storm damage. It's funded by insurance premiums, and the critical risk here is being underinsured when you need it most. You can't predict a disaster, but you absolutely can prepare for one. This slide just lays out the difference perfectly. Maintenance covers the predictable stuff, the wear and tear, like a roof that's hitting the end of its 20-year lifespan. Insurance, on the other hand, covers sudden, unforeseen disasters, like a storm tearing that very same roof right off. They are 2 totally different problems that require 2 completely separate financial strategies. All right, so once you've secured your community's day-to-day finances and you've protected it from long-term decay and those unforeseen disasters, then you can start thinking about the future. And that's where Pillar 4 comes in, growth. This is the exciting stuff. Adding new gym, maybe installing solar panels. But the key discipline of this model is that you only, and I mean only, tackle this kind of growth once the other pillars are absolutely rock solid. Okay, so we've covered the 4 financial pillars that hold up the community. But what holds them all together and makes sure they actually work? Well, the answer is Pillar 5, governance and financial control. This is the foundation. You see, good governance isn't just some vague idea. It's a set of concrete actions. It means having clear financial policies that everyone understands. It means transparent monthly reporting for all residents to see. It means a strict separation of the funds for each pillar, no dipping into the maintenance fund for a new project. And it means regular, independent audits. It really is all about discipline and accountability.
And let's be really clear about this. Without that strong governance, the entire structure just falls apart. You can have the most detailed, perfect maintenance plan in the world, but if you don't have the discipline to keep those funds separate and properly managed, the model simply will not work. It is absolutely non-negotiable. So, what happens when you put all 5 pillars together? What happens when you combine those 4 smart financial strategies on that strong foundation of governance? Well, you systematically move your community out of that reactive, crisis-driven cycle and into a state of proactive stability. And here's the real payoff. This is what you get. You get true financial stability. Your community's assets are properly protected for the long haul. Your property values become stronger and more secure. And maybe most importantly, you get happy, secure residents who are living in a community that isn't just surviving from year to year, but is genuinely set up to thrive. I think this final thought just reframes the whole conversation perfectly. It's not just about accounting, right? It's about understanding the specific purpose of every single dollar. Is this dollar for today's operations? Is it for tomorrow's roof replacement? Is it for a potential disaster? Or is it for future growth? When you manage with that kind of purpose, you can't help but build a sustainable future. You know, moving from financial stress to financial health requires a really clear, disciplined plan, and the 5-pillar model provides that exact blueprint. If you want to dive deeper into how you might implement this in your own community, you can find more information right here. At the end of the day, it's all about planning well, funding properly, and ultimately protecting what matters most.